Hello and welcome to our inaugural virtual summit powered by Teach to Lead, helping educators be on the right side of history. This event is being graciously hosted by Sharp Education Consulting, a national recognized training firm that specializes in providing customized services in diversity, equity, and inclusion in anti-racism education. Last year, Sharp became a supporting organization of Teach to Lead, an initiative led by the United States Department of Education, ASCD, and Teach Plus. Teach to Lead was launched 7 years ago with the mission to equip teacher leaders in education with the skills to make systematic changes in their schools and districts, all without leaving their classrooms. This conference's title is aptly named Helping Educators Be on the Right Side of History. Some might consider it insightful or thought-provoking, provocative, or even controversial. Whatever the case, I think we can agree that the title serves an important purpose in that it actively promotes dialogue and inquiry. To be sure, none of us want to be part of the problem, but rather we all hope to be part of the solution. To make this a reality, we want to equip educators with the skills and tools to effectively and meaningfully begin healing those wounds. Writer William Faulkner once said, "The past is never dead. History is not was, it is." Our past is still amongst us. The effects of history linger in our processes, institutions, and societal systems. Last year was not the first time we witnessed political polarization. 2020 was not the first time our nation has had to confront racial issues and tensions. These events have been going on since the inception of our country. This is not to imply that the United States is not a great country. Rather, it is in many years a leader and a model of continuing inspiration for other countries, many of which have modeled their own constitutions and political systems after ours. But the responsibility to true leadership as a nation necessitates honesty, courage, as well as corrective action, and a change in course when appropriate. It is true that the extent of personal liberties we as Americans experience is shared by a few other nations around the world. Now, however, it is time for us to fully realize the dream that the framers of the Constitution have for us and to collectively lead and teach to ensure that liberty and justice for all is not words on the page, but the will of a people. History at its recounting, as we know, is regularly written by the dominant class, the power brokers, and the victors. Our charge today is to understand how this fact creates our current reality and how it contributes to elements of our society that we no longer value or desire as a community. We must unpack and interrogate our history in a way that brings to light and truth to the stories, values, and realities that were and are still an indelible part of America's incredible identity. There are countless untold stories that define the true American story, stories that can and must still be shared. In truth, many of us do not even know about our past. We are not monolithic people. We may never know the amount of culture that has been lost because of assimilation. It has robbed us of even our most fundamental realities, down to our names. Many of our ancestors changed their names to be more Anglo-Saxon to gain more opportunity. Some of us can now retrace those roots, while others may never know theirs, due to the culturally devastating effects of slavery. This lack of connection to our roots is inherently destructive and has real-world effects that permeate our culture today. Further, we must understand that each of us makes history every day as part of the body politic, and both our individual and collective efforts as we the people has the transformative power to make our nation toward the more perfect union referenced in our Constitution's preamble. Research confirms that students perform better when they are exposed to curriculums where they see themselves. Underscoring this truth within the children's literature realm, Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop, a professor emerita at the Ohio State University, in her seminal scholarship and writing about metamorphical mirrors and windows in literature, explained the impactful role that the mirror provides for the youth to see themselves and their lived experiences positively reflected to them in literature in a way that is self-affirming and transformative. To this end, As educators, it is our responsibility to help our students become problem solvers and independent thinkers, and to equip them with the tools to properly analyze sources of information. By 2050, this will be a minority-majority country. We must put our dedicated efforts into establishing practices where all students, faculty, and staff are able to prosper. The only way we can succeed in this is by creating learning and working environments that are diverse, equitable, and inclusive. To ensure that we can create an environment where everyone is able to participate, it is imperative for you to abide by the following community agreements. Number 1, stay engaged. Number 2, learn how to experience discomfort. Number 3, speak your truth. Number 4, expect and accept non-closure. Number 5, practice empathy. Number 6, racism will not be tolerated. Number 7, be reflective listeners. Number 8, use I statements. Number 9, keep your questions and comments focused on the topic. And number 10, seek to understand and grow. If any of these community guidelines are violated in the chat box, you will lose the ability to make commentary and may be removed from the event. Please use the hashtag Teachers United throughout the summit. Thank you again for spending your Saturday with us and for your commitment to creating inclusion through learning and helping to lead the way for your learners and colleagues.